for another Score Extra show. You know, whenever we get to the weekend, we tend to have high intensity when it comes to different leagues, and I think this time around we have a lot to tell Ugandans.
Absolutely, and I'll start by telling Ugandans that I'd love to thank the guys that help us with kit, the kit behind us. You look at, there's a Villa in there, there's a Uganda Cranes in there, and others. But I would like to thank the CEO at Kampala Capital City Authority Football Club, Madam Anisha Muhozi. She gave us kit, but it's not here today. Madam Anisha Muhozi, no one is putting on that kit. I promise you it's locked up in some office, but next time out, it will be here. That yellow, that glittering yellow will be on behind us, and it will shine through. And I'm certain where you are at home watching, you will see it evident.
By the way, KCCA also signed a very big deal with Britam. Coming on board and giving them some good monies, which I really think is very good, and the CEO has a hand in this. I love the fact that they work very well with Prime Media and very many other sponsors into club football. Some clubs don't even have sponsors, which is really worrying, and I think they have to buy a lift from KCCA and Madame Muhozi down at KCCA.
Tell you what, to get that kit, I walked into her office. I didn't know she knows me. You know, at times I'm very humble. I don't assume anyone knows me. So
how shy?
One of the two. You've caught me hands down. But anyways, I walked into her office and talked to her about this show of ours. And she told me, don't worry. Go to that lady, she'll give you that kit. And she gave us that kit. There's another lad called Leon Senyange.
Yes.
Leon Senyange promised to give us kit for Leeds United. He supports Leeds in the English Premier League, and he watched this show the last time we're here. It's been a couple of weeks since we came down here, and he says that he'll give us kit. We're supposed to look for him.
I also remember Leon being part of the motorsport.
Yeah, he's very much a big part of it.
Yes, he has to bring us that motorsport gear.
Okay.
However, it is a little bit very expensive.
But he has old ones. We can use old ones as well. It doesn't matter. This is Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, the oldest and most experienced.
And we also believe in motorsport.
I also believe in motorsport. At times, it doesn't have to be that new. That old one will prove that one, motorsport is old in Uganda, and Uganda Broadcasting Corporation is the biggest of all, gentlemen.
Since 1954.
Are you sure?
Sure.
You remember that offhead, eh?
I remember that.
Anyways, Ugandans out there is a man called Ponsiano Lwakataka. Ponsiano Lwakataka walked down the aisle yesterday. Ponsiano, at his reception down at Akamwesi along Gayaza Road, told the world that his wife, Rose Lwakataka, is the best thing to ever happen to him. When he was incarcerated, that is the reception. That's Lwakataka.
Yes.
On your screen. You see him? Smartly dressed in blazers. What are those called? You're the youngest of me.
This is a very good blazer, and then the basket in there. But I love the fact that he managed to organize an occasion of that kind of caliber. When you look at Ponsiano Lwakataka, he's one of the greatest drivers Uganda has ever had in FMU.
He's one of the greatest and most daring. I don't think anyone dares like him. People look at lads like Duncan Wawiruki Kankane. Then there's another lad whose name skips, who is so daring. In the past, they were the kiddos of this world. They were so daring, but Lwakataka will do anything. There he is. Look at him feeding his wife.
Yeah, and enjoying.
Enjoying the moment.
But you cannot believe that this is the real Mafu Mafu. Hashtag Mafu Mafu. He managed to organize a very big event, which I really think is inspirational to other people in the world of sport.
That is the wife.
Yes.
That is the wife, Rose Lwakataka. She's
really enjoying
through thick and thin. Lwakataka was incarcerated. Remember the times he spent in prison, and he says it's only that woman there who stood by him. That woman counseled him. That woman ensured that Lwakataka leaves prison and comes out and gives us that bash at Akamwesi. There were more than 2,000 people. And tell you what, no one did even mind whether they ate food or not. It was about seeing Lwakataka being taken.
Yes. Lwakataka, I remember something very big about him. He introduced my friend Tony Sozi, a gentleman that started up Masavu Football Club, into motorsport. Sometime back in Garuga, I remember seeing Tony Sozi and Lwakataka, Mafu Mafu, not forgetting Christakis Fitidis, racing very nicely.
The singer, the artist?
That is Catherine Kusasira, and then this other one is...
Who is that?
I'm not certain about this one, but I'm just enjoying the dance from the old lady right there.
That was one of the parents.
Yes, enjoying the vibe down there, and really this is something very big when it comes to the issue of inspiration to other sportsmen. We need to see footballers also
getting married,
saying yes.
And you know what, Alex Ferguson during his days at Man United told the players to marry. The reason he did so was because when you get married, you settle down at home.
Yes.
You know, celebrity status, I don't know how you handle it as a young man. For me, I'm over it. But you as a young man, girls out there, look at you and have a go at you. So Ferguson told the players, please marry. That's why guys as young as 23, the twins from Brazil were married at Manchester United, because it settles you down, concentrates you on sport. Lwakataka, of course, is maybe well past being a big star again in motorsport, but this settles him down and really is confirmation that he appreciates the role the woman has done in his life. Lwakataka is stubborn. I've ever sat in a car with Lwakataka, an ordinary car, from Bugolobi to UBC. He was driving me. I'll never sit in his car again.
You need to fasten the seat belt very hard.
Even if you did. Okay. Even if you did. Lwakataka is very, very stubborn. He's talking on phone. He's changing gears here and there. The cars are coming to him, the borders. But Lwakataka is stubborn, but that woman, Rose, tames Lwakataka. Gratitude to Rose for walking these miles with Lwakataka, and we wish you the blessed marriage. Marriage is not easy. The best things usually come out after marriage, but these ones are aged. They've been together for quite some time. You don't expect troubles coming. They would come to you, a young man.
I also remember going to school with Lwakataka's son at Chitende, a young man called Chigundu. Yes, I remember going to school with him, and he was also one other calm boy. However, we always enjoyed those visitation days, having enjoyed the VDs together.
With the father around.
Yes, the fathers had their chats, and we, the boys, had our chats too.
Your father?
Yes.
And his father, if you're watching this for the very first time, his father is the late Andrew Patrick Luandaga. A great momentous man in Ugandan sport. If you do not know him and you've lasted like I have, check yourself.
Yes, we had to give our dads some space, let them talk sport, and we also talk books. But right now, I'm glad to be talking sport here again.
Okay, my that is it. That is all about Lwakataka. Wish you a great marriage, Lwakataka and Rose. But anyway, sport continued in Uganda over the week, and yesterday, to be precise, Andrew Michael Malwandaga.
Yes.
The Uganda Premier League rolled of 3 games played, and I'm certain you watched 1 or 2.
I did watch.
Whichever way you can, because you've got TV on TV, so you can be elsewhere and watch TV on TV.
I watched one that took place down at Wankurukuku. The game that was very mouth-watering, the return of Alfred Leku, made the headlines after the game had climaxed. But the mere fact that other games were also underway, the likes of Ondu Paraka taking on UPDF, which ended in a 1-1 draw, and then Mbarara City having the biggest win of the day, match day 1. I hope to see other tremendous goals today, because other games are going to be played. Probably tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow other games will be played, and then Monday we shall also have another fixture.
Monday will be Gaddafi against Busoga. Tomorrow there is Vipers against Police at it's Police versus Vipers
at Lugogo.
Lugogo MTN Philip Omondi Stadium. Then there will be one at the Kabaka Chabagu Stadium where KCCA visits Wakiso Giants. It's going to be a blistering game, that one. Wakiso Giants have been underachievers vis-a-vis the vibe with which they arrived in the league. But Tokarua Hills, they arrived with such a vibe, and they ensured that Ugandans appreciate that they have knocked on the door of men and arrived peacefully and are ready to fight on. That is the result. Express 0, Arua Hill 2. Was it justified for them, or they just fluked this one? Express simply had a bad day at the office.
Nah, they didn't fluke this one, because when you look at the performance of the entire Arua Hill squad, I just think they were up to the billing. When you look at Alfred Leku, he's one player that we've taken very long watching when it comes to the issue of Ugandan football. I remember him at Proline. He had a short spell down there, and then heading to Express. I remember that Save Express campaign.
2017-18.
Yes.
He scored the goal that saved him against Masavu, I'm certain.
Yes, it was a 1-0 win, and we had a very big campaign there, having a couple of people coming on board, the likes of Tamale Mirundi, the likes of Honorable Geoffrey Rutaya, coming out to Save Express.
How about Bobby Wine?
I don't remember him being part of that.
But he's part of that.
However, he was a very good friend to
Nakiwala
Change.
Yeah.
Yes, but he wasn't part of that campaign, because I'm just waiting to see whether Bobby Wine is a true football fan. I haven't seen him at any club football stands to watch.
Is he allowed to go down there?
Yes, he's allowed to go down there, because they allow 200 fans into every stadium. So he can be part of the 200 if at all he has a mask and he can sanitize. he can be part of the 200 fans down there. If at all he can social distance, have a mask and sanitize.
So there was another game in Mbarara City, beating up on Bright Stars. Bright Stars traveling there with high pomp, but tell you what, they were extinguished by Mbarara City side that simply was awesome on the day.
Yes.
3-1 that game finished, and you think that going to Mbarara, any team going to Mbarara now will go there with two thoughts: either you're going to be beaten or you've got to work hard to get a result.
Yes, it has always been a very deadly home ground for Mbarara City. I remember even last season they managed to win 2-1 up against KCCA on the very stadium, Kacheka Stadium. Yeah. It is not a very it is not a very easy place to go. But the performance they put up yesterday was very stunning, because not even the return of Nelson Senkatuka was enough to save the day for the Bright Stars.
He scored a penalty?
Yes, he scored a goal, but it wasn't enough. It's simply a console them that they can at least go home with a goal in the bag, but not the points.
Yeah, the other game was there were 3 games. There was Express, there was Bright Stars, which was
and then Ondo Paraka
against UPDF. 1-1 that game finished down at the Betway. No, it's called Green Light Stadium in Arua. Now it's going to be a big contest. Then I think the third match day for both Ondo Paraka and Arua is between the two. Ondo Paraka and Arua is between the two. You know what that means? In Arua.
Yes.
So Arua is now turning out into one of those venues where people will witness their football firsthand. It doesn't come any better. When Ondo Paraka arrived in the league, the Uganda Premier League a few years ago, it arrived and took it over. It was one of those teams that traveled across the country but had more numbers than even the home team. Now there is an Arua Hills that starts by beating Express on the opening of the fixture of the league, and now the two are going to play against each other. Which kind of atmosphere do you expect in Arua on that day? Because tell you what, most of the teams over the first match day in the Premier League of this year of Uganda respected the 200 fans you're talking about.
Yes, when you look
we're not tipping Ministry of Health or anyone, but it's a fact of life, because this was evident. Social media ensured that we are knit together closely. Someone takes a picture in Panama, comes to Uganda in 2 seconds. So if it's in Uganda, then we are actually bound to notice it closer. There was no one that honored the 200. Most of the grounds were beyond. I watched Ondo Paraka against UPDF. Oh my goodness, there are about 1,000+ fans in there. So what do you expect against when the two teams meet, the two Arua giants meet? Ondo Paraka, historically the ones that know this is meant to be us. Now the newcomers, Arua Hills, start with a bang and tell you what, they've got the monies.
Yes, the West Nile had a very long period of time without a very big derby like this one will be.
That is looming.
Yes, this one will be a very big derby, and I hope to see security being tightened, because we might even take a look at the fans trying to get into a brawl due to the issue of loving their club so much.
Bragging rights of Arua.
Yes.
These ones call themselves the Kongolo.
Yes,
that is Arua Hills. Amakongolo. Then the ones call the
Caterpillars.
The Caterpillars. Oh,
yes.
It's going to be fun
So I'm just waiting to see a great battle between a gentleman in that is Alfred Leku when it comes to the issue of scoring the goals, and then Muhammad Shaban for the Ondo Paraka side, because he managed to return home after a very long spell at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende, with the Vipers, and everything didn't transpire very well. Remember, Muhammad Shaban is one of those players that I always thought was one of the best strikers Uganda would ever experience in this generation, but due to the issue of discipline, discipline in sport is key. I've seen a couple of great players lose it out simply because of discipline. The likes of Sulaiman Motiaba, also known as Mike Motiaba. He has an issue with his discipline. The same applies to Muhammad Shaban. He's a little bit indisciplined.
Zaga?
Yes, Frank Zaga to Mwesije.
He's not included on the rota for police this season.
He's also
he decided
indisciplined.
to walk out of the club.
Yes, the likes of Nicolas Kasozi. These are players that will go AWOL at any given moment. They don't mind about how much the club needs them or how much the coach needs the result. For them, they will think about what they want, and they can simply walk away out of the camp at any given time. So indiscipline has really cost a couple of sportsmen in Uganda, and not only Uganda, even Africa, because besides those, you remember El Hadji Diouf, who had a very good spell at Liverpool, but his indiscipline cost him, and currently he's one of the poorest footballers. He's part of the poorest footballers in Africa.
Or in the world?
Yes, the same applies to Alex Song Bilong.
Okay.
Do you believe that Alex Song Bilong is playing football in Djibouti? This is very disturbing when it comes to my brain. I wonder why a player can go down to Arsenal, make lots of pounds, go down to Barcelona, make lots of euros, then come down to Djibouti at the end of everything. My good Lord.
Anyways, that is the Uganda Premier League. It's returned and it's going to be massive this year because several teams really put players across. One of them that really put players across was Express FC, but beaten by Arua Hills on their first outing. Loads of stuff coming out of there. Coach Wasabosa saying, alluding, I saw a social media post somewhere that this was the work of the CEO.
No, you don't have to go into that.
Okay, I leave it.
Yeah, don't go into that.
Thank you very much. Anyways, games coming up tomorrow because we can't talk about the Uganda Premier League minus mention of Vipers in depth. They only added 2 players that we know, Brighton Ukani and that youngster Jackson Komakech. But they are contenders big time. If you tell their fans that they will not win the Premiership this season, they can come through the TV and do anything to you. So they play Police tomorrow. They visit a team that knows how to play their football. Of course, not including Zaga on their team list. Police, but they've got players that can give you that cow on a day whenever you need it. Tony Maweje is one of those that can initiate a process that can down Vipers at the MTN Philip Omondi Stadium. Do you think it's possible?
Yes,
how can it be possible?
It is very possible because in the game of football, it is never over until it's all over. We've seen shockers, just like the one we saw yesterday when Express FC was losing 2-0 to Arua Hills. But also looking at this game in depth, when you look at the 2 gaffers, that is Roberto Oliveira, the Brazilian, who managed to win 8-1 in that Stanbic Uganda Cup.
But this is a repeat of the semi-final in the Stanbic Uganda Cup.
Yes, when they were taking on...
Vipers beat Police 2-0 before going on to beat Bull in the final.
Yes, but looking at the 2 gaffers, Abdallah Mubiru and then Roberto Oliveira, I really think there will be a battle of tactics into this one because Abdallah Mubiru is one of those coaches that believe in the Pep Guardiola style of play. He wants to see his boys build up the game right from the goal. He doesn't want those styles of taking very long goal kicks and wasting set pieces. He wants set pieces taken with tactics in them. And the same applies to the Brazilian, who wants you to control the ball, feel at home and enjoy the game. However much you can get the result, just like we saw Cesar Manzoki and Yunus Sentamu having a very good partnership in that 8-1 mauling of Bull. I just think we are going to keep on enjoying the 2 sides that have 2 great strikers. When you look at Yunus Sentamu this side and then take a look at Brian Moruri for the Police FC side, he's also one great striker when it comes to Ugandan football. I wonder why the coaches at the national team level have never summoned him. It doesn't mean they need to take him to the final 23-man squad, but they have to make him feel, yes, they have to make him feel he's one of those that are supposed to be part of the Cranes team.
The Kampala Capital City Authority Football Club, that of Anisha Muhozi, who is CEO there, is also one of those teams that will be in the mix, certainly, to win the league this year, at least at the start as of now. If it doesn't turn out the way we have said it, please don't come and stone me on the way. I'm just looking at something with an open mind. KCCA and of course they have won this before,
yes,
and they have recruited heavily. My only problem with them is that many players coming through really under Molly Biekwanso. Molly Biekwanso wanted his own, and he has actually got them this season. Do you expect to see Molly Biekwanso run over the league? Forget that Wakiso game tomorrow.
In the first place, Molly Biekwanso is one good coach that knows how to relate with the players. I remember he was my coach when I was...
Did you play football?
Yes, I did play football at Proline. I spent about 8 years in the Proline Soccer Academy, which was started by Mujib Kasule.
If my son is listening, watching this,
yes,
I'm certainly saying, Ompira Gulabi.
No, Tegulabi.
I'm certain he must be saying, Ompira Gulabi.
I was one of those players that got the armband. In the first place, Coach Molly Biekwanso is the very first man that gave me a captain's armband ever in life. To
take it to who?
Ever in life. No, to have it. Oh my God. Take it to who? John Barnes. But when you look at his relationship with the players, okay, it is very good.
Let me believe you. Let me believe you.
No, you're supposed to believe me, okay, because I even have the footage. Mukuru Mwesi will give you some footage and you take a close look.
I think you walk into restaurants and show them the footage that, please give me food. This one here. Let me hope you don't do that.
No, I don't do that.
Please.
But when you look at his tactics, I remember when Uganda, the under-20 side was putting up stunning performances down in Mauritania, you get to see that his style of play is very good when he has the players that listen to him. That is why we've seen KCCA sell out young talent to the rest of the world. I remember Mustafa Kiza was also part of the Proline Soccer Academy side that was nurtured by Molebi Ekwaso. The same applies to Steven Serwada. We cannot forget Derek Kakoza. All these boys have got the green light right after the under-20 AFCON that was played down in Mauritania. So when it comes to the league this season, I don't think he's the best coach in the 15 clubs. Villa is not yet part of the fixtures.
Before we go to Villa, let's first stick to KCCA. Yes. KCCA now, the captain now is Ochan Benjamin, the goalkeeper. You've seen Ochan, you've watched Ochan play. He's not that talkative. How does he handle the pressure down at the stadium and ensuring the players living it through him? We've seen Captain Fantastic Dennis Onyango be the captain in goal, but most others are ever quiet and don't impact on the team. Was it a wise decision for Mole to choose Benjamin Ochan? Yes,
basing on his experience, it was a wise decision because he's one goalkeeper that has ever got a Cranes call-up. He's one goalkeeper that has been at KCCA.
Who is that? Magambo?
That is Magambo.
Magambo, who was named Fans Player of the year.
Yeah, that is Magambo for you.
If you want commitment.
Smiling alongside the Lord Mayor. But I wonder whether the Lord Mayor minds about the rains that disorganize the fire brigade area, then industrial area, just as you go to Nsambia.
Yeah, this is KCCA is going to put on a kit that has smart city. And I'm certain part of the smart city is that they're trying to ensure that Ugandans that come down to Kampala in millions per day don't have to run out of town because it's raining. I think KCCA, the club, is going to ensure that is carried forward, and I'm certain the guys, including the ED, Madam Kitaka, will carry it on and ensure that it's not just about a lip service. That is Yasa Mugerwa.
Yes, experienced players are into this one. The same applies to Brian Majwega. We cannot forget Benjamin Ochan. Yeah. Then when you look at the young lads down at KCCA, the likes of Julius Poloto, they have a lot to learn from these experienced players. You know, Brian Majwega has played professional football. The same applies to Yasa Mugerwa. I remember his spell down in South Africa. We cannot forget Benjamin Ochan, who's been all over Africa, when it comes to the issue of playing professional football. So these young lads have a lot to learn from them, and I think Molebi Ekwaso best on this when he was giving away the captain's armband to Benjamin Ochan. However, we've always seen goalkeepers being so good when it comes to the issue of commanding. Remember, a goalkeeper that is a little bit silent always costs the team because you have to communicate with your defenders and command the midfielders to really partner up with the defenders and put up standing performances when it comes to the issue of keeping the clean sheet. So I think, basing on all that, he's one goalkeeper that will serve as a great captain. Yeah,
and he will be assisted by Poloto. Then there's a Gift Ali in there. I forget.
Gift Ali comes in as second.
Iguma. Then there's Poloto and Iguma.
Yes, just look at that experience down there.
Now, as we talk of football in Uganda, you've heard of news that our very own Murshid Juko has been fined by FIFA. 5,000 Swiss francs. That is about 19 million Uganda shillings. Where is
roughly 20.
Roughly 20 million Uganda shillings. For that elbow on who?
On Ibrahim Akone.
Ibrahim Akone. In the game we played against
Mali. Is top scorer.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk Ugandans through whether that is whether FIFA is right on that, and where Murshid Juko is going to get this money, because the federations clearly, the federations, not only FIFA, every federation in the world told FIFA that we cannot keep paying these expenses. Yet these players commit careless fouls that are surely up to them. So Murshid Juko has to pay this money over the next 30 days. Day one is yesterday. We are on day 2.
Yes, in the first place, when it comes to the issue of...
First, remind Ugandans how we got this red card. Which game?
It was up against Mali down at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende, and I remember he first of all picked up a yellow card, and then in the second half he elbowed, that is Ibrahim Akone, the Malian striker. However, when you look at Murshid Juko, he's one of those players that are very reckless, or those players that are very careless when it comes to the issue of helping his side. Even yesterday, he was one of those that costed Express FC the 3 points. Because because of his complacency in the back line. But in this one, when you look at the elbow, that is the elbow on the screen. Take a look at that. It was just a matter of shielding the ball. It was just...
look at it. Boom.
Yes. 2-3 seconds off the pitch, and you elbow someone that cannot even harm. When it comes to the issue of the pitch, you can get to see that he elbowed the opponent in the corner flag.
Yeah.
Why should you do that? That is lack of professionalism.
Okay.
I remember seeing centre backs of Sekaja's kind. I remember Timothy Batabaire. They never made these reckless mistakes. Do you know the reason as to why we no longer see Isaac Isinde into this one?
No.
Because of complacency. And even Murshid, this is going to cost Murshid. We might not see Murshid Juko anymore.
Yeah, because he's got to pay this money in 30 days, and I've told you clearly, the federations all over the world talked to FIFA and told FIFA that we can no longer pay such fines because most of these acts by the players are deliberate, and that Murshid Juko elbow is one of those that was deliberate, and it's just about improper conduct, misconduct. There are fouls that will happen and there will be no fine. You're stopping someone from going to attack your goalkeeper, and you place your leg out, he bundles over it, gets a penalty for his team, and he'll be red carded for that, but then there will be no fine for that. But as long as there is misconduct, there is improper conduct.
By the way, elbows are not allowed in the game of football.
Yep.
I remember a game where Thierry Henry was red carded. It was Aston Villa up against Arsenal, where he elbowed Lloyd Samuel. If at all you remember, that young lad who was playing down at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
That elbow cost Thierry Henry 3 games, whereby he wasn't fielded simply because he elbowed this Lloyd Samuel guy. But this should be now a very big lesson to all the other players that will be summoned or called up for national duty. Once you make a reckless mistake, FIFA will be out of it, and your career will be at stake.
Between you and your career.
Yes, your career will be at stake.
Okay.
So Murshid Juko has a lot to do to prove to us that he needs help from wherever it may come from to help to save his career, because he's one defender that is still promising. However, he needs to be career guided. When it comes to the issue of national teams, I wonder why our players are not given this career guidance.
I think they will. From now on, I think they will certainly will, and the players also will know that now you foul a player recklessly, you get a 5,000 Swiss francs fine. That is too much money for Murshid Juko to pay. I don't know whether the federation will come in and help him, because we've got big games coming up, and certainly we need Murshid back into this. But let's first go for a break, my younger colleague.
Yes.
When we get back, we shall freestyle.
Okay.
Let's.
I smile when I think of you, Uganda, my home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda, my home. Oh, my Uganda.
I know, with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home. My heart, mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey, mama.
My Uganda.
Oh,
my Uganda.
oh,
My Uganda. My Uganda. Nigokunda. My Uganda. Amari, alemira. My Uganda.
nyowe nikugonza.
My Uganda.
Amina ngojo, Amina ngojo.
My Uganda.
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Get Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Vaccinated today so we can get closer to the normal way of life. Echa COVID-19 chija kugwa.
Well, if you are a netball fan, I will tell you that NIC, National Insurance Corporation Netball Club, one of the most successful in this country, has just beaten up on Weyonje in the league that happened at National Blue this morning. 51-40, that game finished. The first game played today, I was there under the rain. Luwero, UGX Luwero, beat up on Posta. Then, if you follow your handball Prisons, the champions amongst the men from last year, beat up on Evergreen. But you can get all those details. If you keep watching UBC, especially the news, I will ensure that you get satisfied with the results. You're still watching the Sky X on Uganda Broadcasting Corporation TV. My name is John Ban Sentamu. And before we went for the break, we're talking about a lot the local football with my colleague, Michael Senfuma Luwandaga. Now, Michael, before we go to the URA game that is happening in a few minutes from now, their CAF Confederations Cup game against El Masri from Egypt, Villa is not on the fixture list.
Yes.
Are there hopes they will?
Yes, there are big hopes because we had a communication and they told us that they will be sorting out issues with FUFA in a week's time. But I wonder why clubs like Villa, historical clubs like Villa, are the ones sabotaging football development in the country. Because if at all you cannot go down to the polls and vote for your club president with a lot of peace, I wonder how you will have peace in the entire season. So we might even see Villa relegated. However, they managed to get the signature of a Greek coach, that is Kukuras, who will be helping them out after the exit of Edward Kaziba, who joined national duty when it comes to the issue of women's football. But they still have young lads like Isma Mugurusi, who was signed in recently, not forgetting
Travis Mutiaba.
Yes, Travis Mutiaba is also one other great player. Then Gavin Mugweli Chizito was also part of that squad that made it to the final of the Under-20 AFCON down in Mauritania.
He's named captain?
Yes, he's named captain, and this is going to be a kind of motivation to him as a player to give them his all when it comes to the issue of performance and scooping the points. But this also disorganizes the competitions desk down at FUFA when it comes to the issue of issuing us with the fixtures. Now they have to sit back and relook at the fixtures, reschedule the fixtures because they need to fix Villa. I wonder why this is always coming with big clubs. First, we had a Save Express campaign as if big clubs shouldn't be relegated. Secondly, we are now having Villa disorganizing us. Players are being licensed, and for them, they are just complacent when it comes to the issue of issuing. Yes, they have to issue shirt numbers letters to their players and give these documents to FUFA. Yes, for proper preparation. But they are now disorganizing FUFA's preparation, and once FUFA's preparations are disorganized, even Ugandan football is disorganized.
Okay, but Uganda football is in the interim is not disorganized because of Sports Club Villa. The league started yesterday, 3 games played yesterday, 2 games coming up tomorrow. I've told you it's Police against Vipers at the Philip Omondi Stadium in Lugogo, and then of course at the Chabagu Stadium in Wakiso District will be the home team Wakiso Giants up against Kampala Capital City Authority. Then on Monday, the big Ginger Derby, Gaddafi against Busoga United. Michael Senfama Rwandaga. Let's cross over and go to the Sembere Mkitende, where in a few minutes, in about 22 minutes, the 2 teams will be walking onto the turf, and that is Uganda Revenue Authority of Uganda against El Masri of Egypt.
Yes, in the first place, we cannot forget that URA managed to win the first 2 games when it came to the issue of the CAF Confederations Cup qualifications. They won 2 games up against that was Ethiopian Coffee, and they managed to take it to this round. Looking at the game that they are going to be playing today up against Al Masri, you can get to see that we are going to rely so much onto the Timbe factor. Coach Timbe is one of those very experienced managers when it comes to the issue of Ugandan football, and I think he knows better what to do. I for one believe in the partnership of Cromwell Rothomio and Stephen Desemkwala. I believe that they will put up stunning performances when it comes to the issue of the CAF Confederations Cup game that they are going to be playing down at the St. Mary's Stadium. Alliance Nafian is one custodian they have to rely on when it comes to the issue of getting a clean sheet out of this fixture, and Alliance Nafian is one of those goalkeepers that was summoned by Fred Kajoba when it came to the issue of the double header up against Rwanda. However, we didn't see him get that national team debut competitively, but I remember him putting up a great performance before he got injured in that Cranes Namutima tour when they were down taking on Eastern Region Select. Taking a look at some of the new signings.
If you allow me to interject a little, and I'll tell you the team that your man, Sam Timbe, has summoned. Sam Timbe, by the way, is not the main coach at Uganda Revenue Authority. It's Masaba Simeon, but because of logistics of lack of requisite standards of qualification in terms of coaching, they had to get in a Timbe. Like Express FC brought in a man called who?
Like Express FC brought in Simon Peter
Chiberu.
Simon Peter. Yes.
He brought because of lack of the requisite standards of coaching set by the Confederation of African Football. And Timbe has told us that Alionze Legason will be in goal. The defense is Ashraf Mandela, Fezali Najib, Hudu Mulich, and Derek Ndahiro. The midfield is marshaled by Patrick Imbowa and Ivan Serubidi. Saidi Chenet sits up front. There's Joaquim Ojera on the right, David Sali on the left, and Ronald Chigongo leads the attack.
Yes, Vianney Sekajugo is lacking into this one, but
many others are lacking, I think.
Yes.
Many people expected who? Dese Mukwala?
Yes. Cromwell
Rothomio. Even who is someone at the national team level must be a part of this.
Yes.
But maybe.
But I wonder why he has done this, because when you're playing at home, you have to have that attacking style of play. You have to have the game plan that is based on attack and ball possession. So if at all you cannot field Dese Mukwala, who scored for you the 2 goals that you hit up against Ethiopian Coffee at the same stadium, I wonder why the coach is doing this.
There's no Shafiq Kajimu as well?
Yes, no Shafiq Kajimu, no Dese, no Cromwell. Yet these are the boys that have been having playing time, and they've been training with Coach Micho. I don't know what is really transpiring in the camp there, but even Vianney Sekajugo is one player that should be into the starting lineup because he has very good pace, but I think it is a little bit tactical when it comes to the issue of the wing play, because Vianney Sekajugo and Joaquim Ojera play almost the same kind of football. So maybe the coach has decided to use Ojera's wing in the first half, and then probably we shall see a Vianney Sekajugo taking on the left flank in the second half. Then Alionze Nafian.
Okay.
I've always talked about this young lad. He's one goalkeeper that always makes very good saves, and I also believe today, however, they are going into this one as the underdogs. Remember, Al Masry.
But they're at home.
Yes, they're at home, but any underdog can be at home. It doesn't matter whether you're at home or away from home. For as long as you cannot match the standards of the team you're playing up against, you're an underdog. When you look at the budget of Al Masry, a seasonal budget. They have a budget of around 15 billion Uganda shillings, and URA has a budget of around 2 billion Uganda shillings,
yeah.
which is really way far away from Al Masry's big budget. And I really think when you look at the kind of football that we've always seen from North African clubs, the likes of Al Ahly, the likes of Zamalek, the likes of Es Setif, the likes of Al Masry, I just think URA they've
got a long evening.
They have to bite nails to get a point out of this one, because it is going to be a very difficult game. Remember, they are going on to that artificial turf. It is very difficult for clubs like URA to win without conceding on an artificial turf. Okay. But once they take you down to the arena of visions, you can find it. Difficult.
But anyways, we wish Uganda Revenue Authority, our only remaining representatives at the CAF level, all the success down. They play Al Masry in the first leg today, and of course the two teams will meet again later to decide who goes to the next phase, and after that phase is when the teams will go into that round of group phase. Yes. And the group phase is where every team in the world, every team in Africa would love to be, because there's a lot of money associated with it. Let's cross over and go there.
Okay, TV on TV. Oh my God, this is crazy. Liverpool.
Underdog at home.
Oh my God, underdog at home. Even after bringing Ranieri, the 69-year-old on board, they are conceding in this kind of manner. I thought the Italian would introduce some Catanaccio in the back line and save the day, but my God, this is deadly.
Okay, we've crossed over to the English Premier League, and Liverpool Football Club is leading Watford 4-0. They came back from the international break, and they seem to be seamless in whatever they're seeking to. They look to get back to that COVID-19 season, which they won with ease, surely. Save for COVID, they were sure champions even before the stoppage of the Premier League. They came back last season, they didn't perform pretty well, but now here they are. They lead 4-0 at Watford. What went wrong?
Yes, in the first place, you can give the coach some time and understand the problem that he's just joined the team. Just this very week that we are concluding, he joined the Watford side this very week, and he's one coach that has a lot of experience. However, he did not sign all these players he's using currently at Watford, so he has a very big task ahead of him. He has to learn the players, he has to relate very well with them, and then tell them what he wants them to do when it comes to the issue of scooping maximum points game in, game out. But Liverpool also has a very great tactician in Jurgen Klopp. He's one gentleman that always gives you that kind of German style of play whenever he takes on these underdogs. The reason as to why we see clubs like Man United, clubs like Arsenal trailing is because they give respect to underdogs. If at all you can lose to Aston Villa, if at all you can lose to Brentford, you are not a title contender. But Liverpool is here mauling Watford. Liverpool is mauling Watford, and I'm glad that Bob of SoccerNet managed to give us this kit right here, which is really giving us the picture that we are relying on to the champions.
And of course, goals by Sadio Mane in the 9th minute, brace by Firmino and Mo Salah. Usual suspects, really. Do you think that Liverpool will run short in case those three fail to score goals? Because unlike a team like Chelsea that has guys scoring from all over, even Rudiger scores a couple of goals in there, they are relying heavily on Mo Salah and especially Sadio Mane.
Yes, when you look at the tactics of Jurgen Klopp, I just think he managed to look at this as one of the problems that would hit his side, and he went down to sign the likes of Diogo Jota. He's one other pacey player. Then he has also another great striker in Divock Origi, the Belgian, who managed to score a Champions League goal for him during that semi-final when he was winning the Champions League with Liverpool. It continues to show you that whenever you have great players, you need to look at the issue of team depth, and he has worked upon this. The likes of Chamberlain in there, on a good day, James Milner can come up with his great experience and help you win a fixture. Like today we saw Milner starting, Henderson starting, then Joel Matip starting. All these players are very experienced, and I think they are the reason as to why Jurgen Klopp has taken 3 points in the bag.
Of course, many other games coming on at 5 p.m. logo time in the English Premier League, but none for me so mouth-watering like that one. Southampton against Leeds. for me,
Yes.
is one of those that you really have to look out for. Of course, there's Norwich, Brighton, Man City, Burnley, United away to Leicester, and Wolves against Aston Villa is another potential banana skin that can explode into a game of full magic.
Yes. In the first place, I want to talk about the game between Southampton and Leeds, whereby we expect to see Marcel Bielsa continuing to prove to the fans down there that Patrick Bamford was not a boom to the English squad, because I remember Patrick Bamford and then Calvin Phillips were all called up for national duty in that English squad simply because of his tactics and the way he uses them on pitch.
Yep.
But he's going for a very tactical battle between him and Hans Hut, Russen Hans Hut, another great coach from Austria. I know he's the only coach currently in the Premier League that has scooped a point off Man City, and playing 90 minutes without conceding a goal up against Pep Guardiola is something very difficult. But I have to tip Southampton winning this one. However, Leeds won't be an easy side. Then I also want to talk about the game between Man United and Leicester.
Okay.
Man United traveling to the King Power Stadium.
As you do as well, Brentford against Chelsea.
Yes, Brentford up against Chelsea, and Brentford is one side that has not given respect to the big guns. I remember them hitting 2-0 up against Arsenal,
the opening
then
game of the
drawing
Premier League.
3-3 up against Liverpool before we headed into the international break. So here they play up against the kings of Europe, that is Chelsea, the defending champions of the Champions League.
Yeah.
It will be a very difficult one for Thomas Tuchel and his boys, but I think he will take this one.
But remember, unless otherwise, Lukaku and Rudiger returning from the international break limping.
Yes.
And that is a big blow, because Lukaku and Rudiger have been mainstays on that team, and not only in numbers but also in influence, because Rudiger's come in with some assists and goals, but Lukaku, there's no doubt whether he contributes to the team or not.
Whenever he's in the box, he's the Geoffrey Massa at Chelsea.
Please, in all due respect to Massa, don't. If Lukaku hears you say that,
yes,
he will jump through the screen and skin
But
you.
Massa is smiling.
Anyways, tomorrow there will be two games. There is Everton West Ham, Spurs against Newcastle, and on Monday it's going to be Arsenal against Crystal Palace. A big game for Patrick Vieira, because he up against his former team, a team he captained to great success in that invisible season, 2004.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in that one, we shall also look at the issue of being a London derby.
Yep.
We've always seen London derbies, and they've never been that easy. We know that Crystal Palace managed to win 3-0 up against Tottenham Hotspur in their very first London derby this season. If at all you remember the great performance of Wilfred Zaha, and then Erezebuchi is one of the great players in the midfield that I want the world to watch this season for Crystal Palace. He's one midfielder that will be signed by big clubs probably next season, if at all he does not suffer big injuries this season. However, Man United taking on Leicester today is one game that Man United has to rely on to understand whether they still need Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or they have to show him the exit door. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't been the only coach at Man United. We've seen the experienced Van Gaal come in and leaving. We've seen Jose Mourinho come in and leaving. The likes of David Moyes. All of these gentlemen who are very experienced. So why doesn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer look at the exit door? But looking at this one, Rafael Varane, one of the greatest defenders that Man United has ever had, is out with an injury. And then taking a look at Harry Maguire, he hasn't yet returned to full fitness, which means that we are going to have a look at a calamitous backline.
Okay.
Calamitous backline.
Okay, we've got a few minutes to go.
Calamitous backline.
Barcelona plays Valencia this evening, tomorrow.
Yes,
in the Spanish Liga.
Ronald Koeman is still finding problems. For the very first time, Barcelona has only 12 points out of 7 games. We've taken a very long while, minus seeing such a thing. But Ronald Koeman says he needs time to organize his boys and scoop results game in, game out. But Valencia is also one difficult side with the likes of Coquelin in that midfield. They will have to tame him, but we need to see the experience of Sergio Busquets, and then the attacking prowess of Memphis Depay at the peak. and not forgetting Frankie de Jong, who was signed in from Sevilla. He's also another great striker. However, we are missing the services of Sergio Kun Aguero, who was a free agent joining the Catalonia side from Man City, and he hasn't played any game, but he's getting the money in the bank. I wonder how they are going to handle this, but it is really costing them in one way or the other.
And our last stop is in the Italian Serie A. It's Lazio against Inter Milan. It's Simeone Inzaghi against Maurizio Sarri as you climax, because we've got to leave and let normal programming continue as we go and enjoy our weekend.
100%. When you look at Lazio, I will take a look at their great striker
Ciro Immobile returns.
Immobile.
He's been out, he returns.
Yes, one of the greatest Italian strikers.
Yeah.
We need to take a look at. He performed very well during his spell down at Borussia Dortmund. We remember that. He also won a golden boot when he was at loggerheads with Cristiano Ronaldo in the Italian Serie A. So here he comes to face the backline that will have the likes of the young man in João Miranda, who will be in the backline there for Inter Milan. We cannot forget that Inter Milan also will be having the likes of Lautaro Martinez, a very good striker, who will have to put up great performances for them.
That is it. Thank you guys for watching this show. It's been me, John Bansentamo, the rest of the team. But I remind you in the Italian Serie A that Milan AC plays Verona, and Napoli, the table leaders, are up against Torino. Thanks for being a part of the show. Good thanks to our producer, Mr. Eddie Muwesi, and of course, my young colleague here, Michael Sefuma Luandaga. You've been magnificent.
Thank you very much.
Hope you have a great sporting weekend.
Thank you
You
very
come
much.
back with no accident on Monday.
Yes, I'm just going to watch the Calamitas backline that will have Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof, a very good friend to Eddie Moes. They always tweet and chat, but I wonder how they will be chatting tomorrow after that Calamitas backline.
That is it. No more program continues. I wish you a nice weekend. Please, COVID-19 still lives. Do not drink and drive. Enjoy life responsibly and love your family. And God above all.
Vaccination.
And vaccinate, please.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.